Hey guys, so a few months ago I reviewed the two Captain America TV movies from 1979 in preparation for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was a Marvel live action show that had characters, Captain America characters, and I thought it'd be fun to look back at the time that the Marvel tried to, put a Captain America live action TV show on the air, but it never happened. So now with Loki coming up, I thought, look back at the time that they tried to launch a Thor show. So today we're going to be reviewing The Incredible Hulk Returns, or how I would like to put it, The Incredible Hulk meets the Almighty Thor. So, if I am to talk about this movie, I'm going to have to talk about the original series, but not to overwhelm you, you do not have to watch the entire series. You can just really watch the pilot, and then when you watch, this movie, stuff isn't really that confusing as you really think. You can kind of understand all these details and all that, and I think that's really it. So, I gotta first off say, I think just, Lou Ferrigno and Bill Bixby, I think those are really the true Hulks. I think they are just, the greatest, Bill Bixby is the best Bruce Banner we have. I know, over Mark Ruffalo. I think Mark Ruffalo is also great, and Edward Norton, and definitely better than Eric Bana. But I really think Bixby had a lot of passion in this. I respect that. And he really, helped with Kenneth Johnson on this, making Hulk into this tragedy. And I love the fact, basically this show is an adaptation of Les Miserables.
Idea of doing one of the Marvel Comics superheroes. Frank Price called me and said, "We've just acquired the rights to 5 of them. Which one would you like to do?" And I said, "Gee, none of them, Frank. I just don't connect to people in spandex and primary colors." And my wife, Susie, had given me a book, and I was in the middle of reading it. And this is Victor Hugo's Les Miserables. The story of Jean Valjean being pursued by Inspector Javert and living life as a fugitive.
I'm Jack McGee from the National Register. I'm checking some stories that a huge hulking creature was seen in this area.
So I had all of that sort of Victor Hugo story in my head, and I realized that, there was a way to take a little bit of Victor Hugo, a little bit of Robert Louis Stevenson, and this ludicrous thing called The Incredible Hulk, and turn it into a serious psychological adult drama. I wanted it to not be comic booky in any way.
Yes, I will admit the fact that Bruce Banner's name was changed, David Banner, just because the producers back then thought Bruce sounded, too gay. Yeah. And I think, even today, this show sort of would be part of cancel culture. But let's try not to spread the word that much. But overall, this was a really good show, and it really was the only thing that was working with Marvel until Blade and X-Men, because, as I said back in my Captain America, back in the TV movie reviews, how just Marvel was really not in a good spot right now. They weren't doing so good with TV and all that. And, yeah. But The Incredible Hulk was a success, even though it got canceled. But 6 years later, May 1988, he would return for The Incredible Hulk Returns. So let's now dive into, The Incredible Hulk Returns. So it's been 2 years since David has turned into the Hulk and has found this woman named Maggie Shaw, and no, she has no relationship to the villain from X-Men, Sebastian Shaw. And they both work for this science corporation that's run by these two brothers, and one is jealous from one's jealous of the other, but they have this gamma radiation machine, and And so, like, and David has been, like, kind of working on it with them, working overnights, and, he doesn't want to take the credit for it, just so he can hide himself. So one night he uses it to, like, cure him of being the Hulk. But then there is this suspicious man who breaks into the lab, and then kind of like stops the procedure from happening, and then kind of reveals that this is Donald Blake, an old friend of David from college. And then he kind of tells David this story about him going into the mountains to like look for stuff for like Viking stuff. And then he kind of like walks up the mountain and finds this like Viking tomb, and he finds this coffin, and he finds like this big Viking warrior, all in armor and all that. And then he finds the hammer Mjolnir, and then summons Thor, and kind of like Thor is now somewhat servant, and summons him whenever he wants. And so then he kind of shows up and then starts aggravating David, and kind of like in every episode of The Incredible Hulk, whenever David's aggravated, that just kind of turns him into the Hulk and all that. So kind of Thor does that, and after 2 years, David returns to his Hulk form, and then causes a ruckus in the lab. And now we get into the villain subplot where they're in cahoots with one of the other brothers of the corporation, and they want the gamma radiation machine for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. It's never explained. So then one of the bad guys, they try to like break into the corporation and try to steal it, even though I don't know how they're gonna try to steal it if it's a big heavy machinery. But they attack David, and he eventually becomes the Hulk and kind of goes around their radar. And then one day they try to capture him and Maggie Shaw, and then he becomes the Hulk again. And we have this intense fight scene with him and Thor fighting off the bad guys, and then Maggie gets kidnapped. And also, Jack McGee is in it, and he's not really in it that much. It was just sad because he's meant to be like the Javert of the show and all that, and he's just hardly in it.
So beginning off, we're going to talk about Donald Blake and Thor. So now in Thor, I believe Donald Blake is like, he kind of turns into Thor, and I know that never happens at all in the MCU, but I like how they do it, how it's more like Donald Blake and Thor are kind of like this, like, kind of buddies. They're kind of partners. And kind of like Thor is not a Norse god. He is like a Viking warrior, but who cannot go into Valhalla because of Odin kind of saying that he has to do good deeds to travel into Valhalla and all that. And I gotta say, I really wish there was a Thor show, just because I really like the setup. It's basically like a, kind of a nerdy guy, and and kind of a tough guy, and like just kind of seeing them getting into trouble with like, solving crimes and like beating up bad guys. Even today, like, I would like if they did that. Like, imagine like if they, Chris Hemsworth, and like, you take a straight, man in comedies like Adam Scott or Jason Bateman, make him Donald Blake, and I think it would be pretty funny. Like, I just wish the show happened, and both Stephen Levitt and Eric Kramer have great chemistry together in this like TV movie. They're really good. I mean, there's cause from this scene where Thor is literally both Donald and Thor are at a bar, just chewing the breeze.
Come on in, baby, something's going on here. Move it in, baby, you ain't got nothing to fear. Honey, take a look, the big guy's finally here. There ain't nothing to say, get moving over here. Hurry up, baby, the coast is finally clear. Yeah, your daddy's not looking, and the big guy's right over here.
Yeah, that's good 80s cheese stuff. And then, yeah, kind of sad, again, like, the fact that the show never happened, and just Eric Kramer just kind of ended up on the run-of-the-mill Disney Channel show. If any of you watched Good Luck Charlie...
Everyone, I'm Eric Allen Kramer, and I play Bob Duncan here on Good Luck Charlie. Tonight, I'll be counting down my hand-picked Charlies back-to-back. So get comfortable, and let's roll on the first one of my favorites when Bob hits the brakes on Teddy's...
Shame. So, now I also just like the action scenes, like, with Hulk and Thor. It is pretty great. I mean, like, these guys are both, big guys, and, like, and in the show, Hulk, I think the Incredible Hulk did fight, like, another Hulk, but, like, they were, like, that guy was kind of skinny, but, you really feel like you're watching these two big guys, like, just fighting each other. Even if the editing's weird, it's still just a fun fight.
This'll send you back to hell, you ugly frog!
You're not control, you're a fighter. I'd be your friend. What do you say?
I think it's funny that Thor keeps calling Hulk troll, and it's good that we would also see Hulk and Thor team up in another movie, in a separate movie, Thor Ragnarok, which was also probably a great remake of this movie. Okay, well, not technically a remake because the villains in this movie are not that good. So now I'm going to kind of have to go into the negatives in this movie, and it's really the villains. They're just a bunch of guys in leather coats in a crappy warehouse. I mean, in Trial, it's like the Kingpin, and this is just bland. And also one of them is Charles Napier, who voiced the Hulk and was also in the General in Austin Powers. And I don't know why he wasn't the main villain.
What are you saying, sir?
Well, it appears to be in the shape of a big boy.
Good God. It's back.
Well, in many ways, the big boy never left, sir. He's always offered the same high-quality meals at competitive prices.
Shut up.
And also, there's not much of a plot in this movie. It's just kind of like they, basically David, where he works, is kind of a, like the science lab that he works at. There's kind of like, there's basically trouble going on over there, and that's just really it. I don't know. It's just kind of like, it's like it's mostly dull and nothing really happens, and it really is just kind of like, there's just a lot of scenes of David and Donald, like, bonding and just talking about their, like, Mr. Hydes and all that. And I mean, it's good stuff, but I just don't think there's not much plot. And just, again, the villains, it's like, it's in a crappy, warehouse, and it's just guys in, like, coats. It's pretty lame. And I mean, like, in the next film, The Trial, where, like, they got John Rhys-Davies of Indiana Jones and Lord of the Rings as Kingpin. And they couldn't even get Loki to, like, just kind of show up. And, I mean, kind of trying to think of that, I would have, I don't know, like, I mean, I guess Loki would have wanted the gamma radiation machine for the, power Tesseract stuff. I don't know. Guys, why couldn't you just put Loki in there? Like, really, these guys, they're kind of in the public domain. I mean, Thor and Loki are kind of in the public domain. They couldn't even put Odin, or I guess maybe him being a Viking, but I won't get too much deep into it. And also, like, David's love interest, Maggie, is hardly in it, so you don't really get that much emotion. And also, Jack McGee, this was like his this was like the last time he would be, like, in the show, and he's, like, not in Trial, or even the last movie, which was, like, basically the series finale, Death of the Incredible Hulk, which is kind of sad, and
in this movie, it's just kind of like he's unemployed and he's just kind of a failure. And that's really it with Jack McGee. So yeah, I think it's really just the plot isn't the best. And I definitely, I do kind of like which one is a bit better, Returns or Trial. And I think Trial is a bit better because there's like a more of an interesting plot. I feel like there's just a bit more locations. But, in Return, you really do see Hulk and Thor, like, teaming up. Because this really is the first time a Marvel characters are teaming up on screen. And they're really, fighting together. Like, I just love the scene with the helicopters. The entire helicopter scene. So overall, I like The Incredible Hulk Returns. It's definitely a funny, cheesy 1980 TV movie with comic book characters in it. And I just really wish this Thor show happened, and also the Daredevil show. And I wish there was other movies. Supposedly, there was also going to be a She-Hulk and even one with Iron Man. I kind of wonder how they would attempt to bring Iron Man into that. I don't think the effects would have been that good on that one. But I do wish the Thor, Daredevil got their own shows, because Thor really, I think, would have been a fun show to watch. And even maybe The Incredible Hulk, if that show kind of continued, but I think that was the idea, was just to, as like a pass the torch down. And so we kind of have this, this pretty decent quadrilogy of Hulk movies: The Incredible Hulk pilot, Incredible Hulk Returns, Trial, and then The Death, which sadly is not on this disc. There is, as on Amazon, there is no, there's like no box set of these movies together, so that's definitely going to be hard to find. But I think just like Trial, which is probably the best Hulk movie, I just think it's better. And it's way better than the Eric Bana Hulk. So, get some friends together, watch the Incredible Hulk Returns, and hope someday we'll see Eric Kramer as Thor, if they'll actually take risks with this Multiverse of Madness thing. Whatever's going on at Marvel. So, there you go. So, please subscribe. Leave a comment down below if what are your thoughts on the Lou Ferrigno / Bill Bixby Hulk. And Phase 2 Part 2 is coming, guys. I will finally end my MCU reviews once Black Widow comes out in July, even though I don't know why they had to push it back. But okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.